Hey, hello and welcome back to the Hubbard Family History set of videos. Today you see I'm in the office and probably the prettiest day we've had all year here in Frankfort. So just going to get right into it. Today we're going to go back and talk about the first three generations that I'm able to track the Hubbard family back to. We go back, way back, about 782 years to the year 1242 in a little hamlet called Monks Ely. It's in Suffolk County, England, located about 80 miles northeast of London and about 15 miles from Ipswich, which is on the coast.
Hello there, Peabody here. Once again, it is time to take another revealing peek back into history.
What famous date shall I set it to today, Mr. Peabody?
October 19th,
1242.
Got it. And the place?
Monks Ely, England. So the town is still there today. Not a very big place at all. The Church of St. Peter is still there. We have some pictures of that here in a little bit. Here is built in 1350 and it's been remodeled a couple of times. Today we're going back, like I say, to 1242, the medieval times. It's 176 years after William the Conqueror invaded and kind of took over England in 1066. The Vikings had ruled England from 1016 to 1066. This was just after the story of Robin Hood, which was supposed to take place during the time of King Richard I, Richard the Lionhearted, and he ruled from 1189 to 1199. 1242 predates the founding of Oxford College, which was founded in 1249, so we're going back even beyond that. It's about the time, a little after the establishment of the Mongol Empire by Genghis Khan, which was founded in 1206, and this is about 100 years before the Black Plague came into England, which was about 1348, and one thing, infant mortality rate was probably about 50%. A lot of people did live into their 50s, 60s, and so forth, but getting through that first year could be pretty tough. And you'll see most of our ancestors didn't make it anywhere near that long. So, the original name of the Hubbard family was Hobart, and it changed to Hubbard sometime before 1370. So if you go back from my great nephew, which is my brother's grandson, his name's Micah, and my grandson, who's Alex. We go back 23 generations. So we go back 23, go back 20 great grandfathers back to 1242. So we go back to John Hobart, who was born and raised and died in Monks Ely. Monks Ely is, like I say, is a small town. It was referenced as early as 950. The name might make you think there was a monastery built there, but there was not. However, much of the land was given to the Church of Canterbury. In 1086, it was described as covering 600 acres and had 13 villagers, 2 horses, 19 cattle, 20 pigs, 160 sheep, and 1 mill. It paid 14 pence in taxes, which is about $30,000 in today's money. And by 1327, about the end of the time we're going to be talking about today, the total tax was listed as 42 shillings 8 pence, which would be over $1 million in today's money, and it was shown to have 20 villagers. It also always had a mill, so people could get their grains processed. And about 1300, I guess crime was evident there then, as they had it built a gallows in about 1300. So it was well known for its wool trade. And I'll just tell you a short personal story here. The fellow I worked with my last job before I retired, he recommended this book by Ken Follett called The Pillars of the Earth, and it was about this guy wanting to be part of building a church, and what he had to go through, and how that eventually wound up, and talked a lot about the wool trading area. And so, a little bit of connection here to Monks Ely, which was big into wool and the wool trade, and the church being built about 1350. So got a Google Earth view of it today, and we saw a short video there. If you were going to get there from Manchester now in Kentucky and go to Monks Ely, it's about 4,033 miles. So long way from there. It's about 15 miles, like I said, from Ipswich, which made it, a good day's walk. And London was, like I say, about 80 miles, so that would have been about a week's journey. So probably didn't happen much. Also, here's a picture of some houses, cottages there in Monks Ely, and a picture of the church. Like I say, John Hobart, about all we know about him, was born in 1242 in Monks Ely, Suffolk County, England. We don't know sure when he died, but he had a son born in 1374 who was also named John. We don't know who the first John there was married to. We don't know anything else about him that I could find. The second John, all we know, he was married to Mrs. John Hobart. And at this time, England was ruled by Henry VII, and he ruled until 1272, and then his son, King Edward I, ruled until 1307, and his son Richard I ruled from then till 1327. The younger John was born there in 1274, and he lived to be 30 years old. Died in 1304, and we don't have any record if he had any brothers or sisters, and the only son we know of was also named John, so I'm going to refer to him as John III. And from the record we have, John II there was born, raised, and died in Monks Ely. And his son John was born, raised, and died in Monks Ely. He lived from 1300 to 1328. He was married to a lady, Deborah White, and who was born in 1304, so he was kind of a cradle robber. And this John III, like I say, he lived to be the ancient age of 28 years old and died 1328. And he was born, like I say, raised and died in Monks Ely. So in 3 generations at least, we didn't go very far, stayed there at home, and just didn't make it very far away, but we did live through 3 kings of England, and so we just proud to be here today. And those first 3, which are easy to remember from the first 3 Hubbards we have records, they were Hobarts and all named John. and all seem to died pretty young age, and they lived in Monks, Ely, England. So here's this week's sponsor. I didn't want to get into political ads, but you know, it's that year again, so politics are everywhere. So you can watch that video now.
In this next election, vote for someone who won't promise not to let you down, won't rock the boat. Won't vote independently. Sure, you can vote for someone who will promise all these things, but will they? Look, I will live up to my promises. How, you may ask? By not making any. Vote for me on election day. You probably won't remember it.
So next week we will cover the next 2 or 3 generations of the Hubbard family. Get a little more in depth and what was going on that time of our history. So just until then, stay Hubbard and peace out. Hope you have a great day.